Have you wondered where your road will lead you? Maybe to a bright day of sunshine, or a starry night in heaven. Or it might be you're afraid to go, but you've got to follow your road, or you'll never know, never know.
The one thing that is remarkable about Emme is she never forgets her humble beginnings. She loved to talk about growing up in Chinatown, riding at the back of her father's truck while he delivered laundry and sold insurance, foraging through this pile of things that people threw away in Kaka'ako to find a beautiful toy. Emme is Emme because her dad has an immense influence on her. He is what you would call today a Mr. Mom. He raised Emme when at the time it was unheard of that a father would raise his daughter.
Well, I think when you're a minority, and especially if you've come from the plantation, I think there's a glass ceiling. You don't think of yourself as being able to achieve. So you need role models that show that you can. And I think she's been that.
We're about 10 miles from Mount Pinatubo, and this is the closest we'll get to the volcano. Raging lahars or mud flows have claimed this roadway, making it impassable even for residents.
Women were a minority in television news, and young women were even more of a minority. Asian women were still more of a minority, and there was no other Filipino woman on television news at that time. But what I love about her is that she was herself first, and of course she represented, Filipinos and women and journalists, but she was true to herself, and that was a good thing. And she remembered what it was like to be on the outside looking in, and so she didn't forget those people, and yet she could talk to anybody.
And I love to tell the story about her first introduction to Barack Obama. Basically, she was trying to move him off the driving range on the golf course because she was doing a shoot. And when she introduced herself to him, she basically said, "You don't know who I am." And he grabbed her hand and says, "Emme, I grew up with you." And I think that's what it is. She's been an influence on a lot of people's lives. And she just does it very well.
So many people have said to me over the years how she has a remarkable ability to get people to open up and talk to her. And I think that's true. I don't think I've known another television person who can get people to just share their most intimate feelings and thoughts and do so willingly. That's a real art and a talent and a skill that she has that I've never seen in somebody else. And I think that's part of what sustained her career and what allowed her to have Emme Inc. and Emmy's Island Moments all those years.
Emme changed my life because she hired me when I had left KHON. She was running Emmy's Island Moments, and she was an independent producer. And what I found out is when you're an independent, you have to do everything yourself. You have to do the television, the writing, the sales, the makeup. It's very rigorous. And to be honest, when I first started, I got to a point where I wasn't sure if I could continue. I think I told her, I said, Emme, I think this is too hard for me. And she said, "No, you can do it." And I did. I persevered, and I'm really glad that I did because I learned a lot. And to this day, I think some of the more rewarding television projects I've done have been with her.
She used to say to me on occasion, Lynn, none of this really matters. And what she was saying is the celebrity thing and the being on television thing and the having your check picked up at dinner and knowing the stars and so forth, that's all fun and great, but it's not really what is important in life. What's important in life to me is the kind of person you are, and did you try to do good for other people while you were here? And I think that embodies Emme. And I think if those are the standards that we are judged by, she's succeeded far beyond most people I know.
During my formative years as an early teen, I went to Central Intermediate. My dad had a secondhand store on Hotel and River Streets where Mabuhay Cafe now stands. We lived upstairs. Chinatown Hotel Street was almost a daily walk from school to home, and today, ironically, I work with Consuelo Foundation, whose offices are just up the street from where I used to live. Back in the early 60s, A'ala Park was my playground. My friends came from Mayor Wright's housing. We went to Palama Settlement to swim and for Friday night dances. Palama Settlement made us believe the world around us cared, that we were special. It was the epitome of acceptance.
Emme is one of our illustrious alums, and Palama alums are legion on this island and across the nation and frankly across the world, because since 1896 we have been providing so many services for thousands upon thousands of alums like Emme. So I think she's a terrific example of someone who has taken advantage of our programs, spent a lot of keiki time here, and then gone on to become a very prominent person in the community. She served on the board along with Chief Keala, which made them a very comfortable pairing to honor them together. And during that time when she served on the board, she was an enthusiastic and supportive board member. Emme's character is that of a cheerleader, and she continues to be a cheerleader for Palama Settlement.